The crystal wine glasses clinked around the dinner table as my family celebrated yet another of my brother Michael's supposed achievements. This time, it was his promotion to head of cardiology at St. Clair Memorial Hospital, the same hospital where our sister Emma served as chief of surgery, and where I had once dreamed of practicing medicine. To Michael, our father raised his glass, his chest puffing with pride, following in my footsteps and exceeding all expectations. I sat quietly, pushing my food around my plate, trying to become invisible. But in this family, they never let you forget your failures. Oh, Sophia. Emma's voice dripped with fake sympathy. It must be so hard watching everyone else succeed while you... She trailed off, letting the silence speak volumes. I am Dr. Sophia Mitchell. Yes, doctor, though my family never uses my title. In their eyes, I'm the failure who couldn't cut it in their prestigious medical world. The disappointment who chose a different path. Still working at that little research company? Michael asked, not bothering to hide his condescension. What do you do there again? Paperwork? I took a slow sip of wine before answering. I'm the head of medical research and development at Innovix Pharmaceuticals. Oh please, Emma rolled her eyes. That's not real medicine. You don't even see patients. Our mother nodded in agreement. Darling, we've always said you could try applying to St. Clair again. Maybe start as a resident? I'm sure your father could pull some strings. The suggestion made my stomach turn. 10 years ago, I had been a promising young doctor, top of my class at medical school. But I saw something my family couldn't or wouldn't see. The medical system needed more than just surgeons and specialists. It needed innovation, research, new treatments. I'm perfectly happy where I am, I replied calmly. Happy? My father scoffed. Mitchell doctors don't settle for happy. We strive for excellence. Your siblings understand that. Michael just performed groundbreaking heart surgery last week. Emma's department is the best in the state. And what have you done lately? Emma added with a smirk. Filled out some spreadsheets. If they only knew, the spreadsheets I'd been working on for the past 5 years were about to change everything. But I kept quiet, remembering the confidentiality agreement I'd signed. The dinner dragged on, a parade of subtle jabs and not-so-subtle reminders of my perceived inadequacy. Michael bragged about his new Porsche. Emma showed off her latest designer watch, and my parents beamed at their successful children. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. Actually, I said, standing up, I should go. Big day at work tomorrow. Oh, Michael raised an eyebrow. Someone's filing cabinet need organizing. They all laughed, the sound echoing off the expensive wallpaper of our family home. I grabbed my coat and left without another word, their laughter following me out the door. What I didn't know was that tomorrow would change everything. As I drove home to my modest apartment, my phone buzzed with a message from Marcus, my attorney. All papers are ready for tomorrow's signing. The board voted unanimously in your favor. Congratulations, Dr. Mitchell. I smiled, thinking about the years of careful planning that had led to this moment. While my family was busy mocking my career choices, I had been building something revolutionary. 5 years ago, I discovered a breakthrough in targeted cancer treatment. Instead of taking the traditional route through hospital trials, I founded my own research company. Innovix Pharmaceuticals started small, but our results were unprecedented. The patents alone were worth billions. Major pharmaceutical companies fought to partner with us. But I had bigger plans. I spent years quietly buying shares in St. Clair Memorial Hospital through various shell companies. The board members, tired of the old guard leadership and impressed by Innovix's innovations, were eager for change. None of them knew I was connected to the Mitchell medical dynasty. I had legally changed my professional name years ago, operating as Dr. Sophia Lane in the business world. Tomorrow the acquisition would be complete, and St. Clair Memorial would have a new owner. That night, I could barely sleep. I kept thinking about the expressions that would appear on my family's faces when they realized the truth. The failed doctor they'd mocked for years was about to become their boss. Morning came with a sense of destiny. I dressed carefully in a tailored black suit, pearls at my throat, looking every inch the CEO I had become. The board meeting was scheduled for 9 a.m. As I walked into St. Clair Memorial's executive conference room, I saw my father there, along with other board members. He didn't even glance at me, probably assuming I was someone's assistant. "Where is this mysterious Dr. Lane?" one board member asked. "I thought we were meeting the new owner today." I stepped forward, placing my briefcase on the polished table. "Dr. Lane is here." I met my father's suddenly wide eyes. Though you might know me better as Dr. Sophia Mitchell. The color drained from my father's face as understanding dawned. Before he could speak, the hospital's chief administrator began the meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Dr. Sophia Lane, CEO of Innovix Pharmaceuticals and the new majority owner of St. Clair Memorial Hospital. What happened next would change the dynamics of my family forever. Silence fell over the conference room. My father's face had turned an alarming shade of red, his fingers gripping the arms of his chair so tightly his knuckles were white. "This is impossible," he finally sputtered. "There must be some mistake." The chief administrator smiled, oblivious to the family drama unfolding. "No mistake, Dr. Mitchell. Your daughter's company has not only revolutionized cancer treatment but has also shown incredible leadership in the medical research field. The board voted unanimously for this acquisition." I opened my briefcase and began distributing documents. "I have some changes planned for St. Clair Memorial," I said, my voice steady and professional, "starting with a complete overhaul of our research department and the implementation of new treatment protocols." "You can't do this," my father hissed under his breath. "Actually," I replied, sliding a particular document his way, "I can and I will. You'll find my ownership stake is now 67%. And as the new majority owner, my first act will be appointing a new board of directors." The meeting lasted 2 hours. I outlined my vision for the hospital, integrating cutting-edge research with patient care, establishing new treatment centers, and creating a more collaborative environment between departments. My father sat in stunned silence as the other board members enthusiastically supported each proposal. His power, his influence, his control, all of it was slipping away. By the time the meeting ended, news had spread throughout the hospital. I stepped out of the conference room to find Michael and Emma waiting, their faces twisted with a mix of shock and fury. "How dare you?" Emma spat. "This hospital has been in our family for generations. And it still is," I replied calmly, "just under different management." Michael stepped forward, attempting to intimidate me with his height. "You think you can just walk in here and take over? You don't know the first thing about running a hospital." I met his gaze steadily. "No. Let's look at your department's numbers, shall we?" I pulled out another file. "Under your leadership, the cardiology department has seen a 15% increase in readmission rates. Patient satisfaction scores have dropped to their lowest in 5 years." He flinched as I continued. "And Emma, your surgical department's budget is over by $2 million, with no corresponding improvement in outcomes. You've been spying on us?" Emma's voice rose to a shriek. "No, I've been doing my due diligence as a potential buyer, something neither of you bothered to do with your own departments, apparently." Our father emerged from the conference room, his face set in stone. "Sophia, we need to talk. Privately." We stepped into his office, soon to be my office, and he closed the door. For a moment, he just stared at me, as if seeing me for the first time. "Why?" he finally asked. "Why did you do this? Do you remember what you said when I told you I wanted to focus on research?" I asked quietly. "You said I was throwing my life away, that I'd never amount to anything if I didn't follow the traditional path." He looked away, but I continued. "You never saw that medicine could be more than surgeries and hospital rounds. While you were all mocking my little research company, I was developing treatments that are saving thousands of lives. And now you've come to punish us." His voice was bitter. "No," I shook my head. "I came to fix what's broken. This hospital has been coasting on its reputation while falling behind in actual patient care. That changes today." A knock at the door interrupted us. It was Marcus, my attorney, with more papers requiring immediate attention. As I turned to leave, my father spoke again. "Your mother will be devastated." I paused at the door. Maybe it's time she learned to be proud of me for who I am, not who she wanted me to be. The next few weeks were a whirlwind of changes. I appointed new board members, restructured departments, and implemented the innovative treatment protocols that had made Innovix successful. Michael and Emma were forced to adapt or leave. To my surprise, Michael chose to stay, gradually showing real interest in the new cardiac treatments we were developing. Emma resigned, taking a position at another hospital across the city. My mother stopped speaking to me entirely. The family dinners ceased, replaced by tense meetings in hospital corridors and formal emails about policy changes. One evening, about a month after the takeover, I was working late in my office when Michael knocked on my door. "About a minute?" he asked, looking uncomfortable. I gestured to a chair, and he sat down, fidgeting with his tie. "The new treatment protocol you implemented in cardiology," he started. It's it's actually showing amazing results. Patient recovery times have improved by 40%. "I know," I replied simply. He was quiet for a moment. "I never understood what you were doing all these years. With the research, the development. I thought you were hiding from real medicine. And now? Now I see that you were actually advancing it." He met my eyes. "I was wrong about you, Sophia. We all were." It wasn't quite an apology, but it was a start. Over the next year, St. Clair Memorial transformed. Our patient outcomes improved dramatically. The research department, once a neglected afterthought, became a leading center for medical innovation. My father eventually retired, though he would occasionally send notes about interesting cases or new research papers he'd read. It was his way of trying to bridge the gap. Emma remained distant, but I heard through hospital gossip that she had started implementing some of our treatment protocols at her new hospital. The family dinners never resumed, but something else took their place. Every month, I hosted a dinner for the hospital's research team, celebrating their achievements and encouraging new ideas. The conversations were lively, focused on innovation and possibility rather than status and tradition. One evening, as I was leaving the hospital, I overheard a young resident talking to a colleague. "Did you know Dr. Mitchell developed the treatment protocol we're using? She's completely changed how we approach patient care." "Which Dr. Mitchell?" the colleague asked. "Dr. Sophia Mitchell," the resident replied. "The one who runs everything." I smiled to myself as I walked to my car. Not poor Sophia anymore. Not the failed doctor who couldn't cut it. Just Dr. Mitchell, the one who runs everything. Sometimes success doesn't look the way others expect it to. Sometimes it means forging your own path, even when everyone tells you you're wrong. And sometimes the best revenge isn't proving others wrong. It's proving yourself right. The name Mitchell still hangs over the hospital entrance, but now it means something different. It stands for innovation, for progress, for the courage to challenge the traditional way of doing things. And every morning, when I walk through those doors, I'm reminded that success isn't about meeting others' expectations. It's about exceeding your own.